The Christian ideas of dominion exemplified in the Luttrell Psalter shaped the attitudes of English colonists in America 300 years later. My classmate May is here today to discuss how dominion shaped the way colonists managed their animals.
So, in New England, compared to Chesapeake colonies, we see a higher degree of animal husbandry. It was much more carefully regulated, and this had to do with New England colonists' greater reliance on livestock for their survival. Common pastures were a central feature in their town communities, and as we see in the image, these common grazing grounds were in close proximity to the town's religious and political centers. The church is in the background of these two cattle grazing on this common pasture. So naturally, these early New Englanders were highly influenced by Christian values. The Bible prescribes that humans have dominion over animals. In the New England colonists, we see these values being manifested in how they strictly regulated their animals. One way we see this is in the fencing. We see traces of it on the outside of this image. These fences do not only reflect the high degree of management that the New Englanders had over their animals, but they're a testament to the community investment in controlling their livestock. After all, these fences required a great deal of community coordination and organization in order to be built. Of course, this would greatly contrast with the Native Americans' beliefs, which did not even include or conceive of the idea that humans could have ownership over land or animals.
Trends of intensive, carefully supervised land use only became more pronounced as towns established themselves.
Though at first the commons were a much more communal area that everyone in the community would be allowed to dispense their livestock on, over time this changed a great deal. As town populations grew, space became more limited. Early proprietors declared that they would be able to put more animals on the land as compared to the new arrivals. As towns became more and more established and colonists gained a greater means to control their livestock, they were all too eager to exhibit greater management over their animals. Another feature of the commons that would change over time would be the increase of pastures that began to crop outside the town. These pastures were unique and different from the commons in that they were species specific. This means that cattle were now in cattle fields, pigs were with other pigs, and sheep were with other sheep. Not only were these species now being fenced in by their human owners, but now they're being fenced in depending on what kind of animal they were. This reflects the higher degree of micromanagement that humans had in their livestock's lives. Over time, communal management gave way to hierarchical structures. In a way, we see that the increasing regulation of livestock in New England colonies paralleled the growing power structures in human society.